So because of that cop-out video yesterday, I was able to get 8 hours and 34 minutes approximately of sleep. My body wants more. Today's gonna be another slog.
Now arriving. Next move to the station.
Real quick recap for what yesterday was all about. Also, it's not cold in here, it's just this is how I'm comfortable. So yesterday was just it was just a domino effect of really frustrating things that ultimately destroyed my energy level and I just needed to sleep. After I clocked out, I got on the train. I was basically just marking off things on a little mental checklist that I had. One item was to check in with my supervisor and make sure that I had February 12th locked in as a day that I'm not coming to work. Forgot to do that. So I was just like, darn, I'm gonna have to come back and do that tomorrow. So got off the train, went home. The plan was to jump into my uncle's car, drive all the way down to Westminster, watch the tail end of the Super Bowl, film all the shenanigans that is there, drive all the way back, edit, sleep. The electric car giving me a bunch of issues.
As cool of a thing as a car doing self-engine maintenance is, there's a lot of things that I've found that I hate about this car. Let's do a quick rundown of things I hate about this car. Number one is the amount of visibility in this car. Like, sure, you've got like actual working rear view mirrors, unlike the van, which has like not a working left-hand mirror, but like there's like a very narrow sense of visibility around, and then in the back, like there's almost no visibility. This engine maintenance thing makes it so that if you're in a hurry, you're absolutely in the poo-poo. 10 minutes, my butt. I mean, I probably could start the car, but I don't think it'll let me, actually. The other thing that I hate about this car is the fact that on a charge, it's only got 36 miles. Where can you go on 36 miles? Alternatively, you get an additional 285 miles from the gas that's in the tank.
And ultimately, I had to just cancel the entire thing, and that was very draining for a lot of reasons. I was just demotivated, and I sat down to edit the footage that I did have, found that I just didn't have it in me, and so I posted what the 4th is all about. So, with that being said, one of the other One of the other items on that mental checklist that were not checked off is mapping out the day, or what's possible in the day. So, any given day is measured in 24 hours. Waking up, going to bed. The goal is to try to go to bed at 11 o'clock p.m. So far, I've been waking up at around 6 o'clock a.m. in order to get to work, on the earliest of days. Within the 24 hours, 7 of those hours are spent sleeping. Or 7 of those hours should be spent sleeping. 8 is the correct number, while you can survive with 6 hours. That leaves 13 hours to be awake, sort of. Napping is usually factored in sometimes. So generally, working out should take around an hour. Being a coffee slave, usually the shifts run 6 to 8 hours. If I were to play a video game, that takes about 1 to 2 hours depending on the length of the game, and editing, depending on the workload, takes between 1 to 3 hours. Now, with all of this added together as is, it takes 14 hours, which does not fit into the 13-hour wake period. So things like video games that only take an hour can be swapped out for other things. Standard things like editing, being a coffee slave, and working out, those will stay around for much longer. Just those alone are 12 hours, leaving 1 hour remaining to do whatever I want. If I can bring my editing skills up, so reducing the time down to 1 to 2 hours, or even less than an hour, that could bring my time down to 11 hours in the awaking day, leaving 2 hours remaining. Or if I can do even better than that, I can bring it down to 10 hours doing the standard things, leaving 3 hours remaining to do whatever I choose. So, in these hours, I can try to fit video games, which only take 1 to 2 hours depending on the game, doodling, which depending on how much detail I want to go to, it only takes 1 to 2 hours because I kind of suck. Within the 3 to 2 hours, I could easily fit in practicing a language, which I can also just fit that in. So within the 24 hours, standard of the 13 hours that are awake during those 24 hours, standard I have to work at the coffee shop, and I have to edit my video. So in the rest of the time, I can play video games, practice my language, I can doodle, I can craft something, cardboard, armor, piece of wood. I could work out, but friend time takes priority over everything. When a friend wants to do something, that's what we do. So when work and editing are like the time is maxed out, there's at least 4 hours that I have to just fill with whatever I want. When a friend wants to do something, that takes priority. Other projects, such as freelance work, also sort of take priority when they jump into frame. So if I'm contracted to work on a website, that has to kind of come over video games and other such things. With the frustration that was dealing with the electric car, realizing that I missed a checkbox in that mental checklist, I just went to bed at like 10:30, maybe it was like 10:45. The positive note, or the positive result of all that, is I managed to get like 8 hours and 30 something minutes of sleep, which is a lot better than the 3 hours that I've been doing for the last like 4 weeks. But my body was getting a little greedy with that. I just didn't feel rested at all.